The night everything changed, I was wearing a red dress that cost more than my in-laws' monthly mortgage. Not that they knew that, of course. To them, I was just the poor girl who trapped their precious son Thomas. I'm Rebecca Zhang, and until that night, I'd spent 2 years letting my husband's family believe I was a struggling artist who'd married into their elite social circle. The truth? I was the silent CEO of Zhang International, one of Asia's largest tech companies. But that was my little secret. Did you get that dress from a thrift store? My sister-in-law, Amanda, sneered as I entered the Bradley Foundation's annual charity gala. She was wearing a designer gown that I recognized as last season's collection. I declined to buy the same one, finding it a bit tacky. Something like that. I smiled, adjusting my fake diamond necklace that had actually been my grandmother's, worth more than Amanda's entire wardrobe. My mother-in-law, Eleanor Bradley, swooped in like a vulture in versus. "Rebecca, dear," she said, her voice dripping with fake concern, "you really should have let us buy you a proper dress for tonight. We can't have people thinking the Bradley family doesn't take care of its own." "That's very kind, but I'm comfortable as I am." I learned early on that my calm responses irritated them more than any anger could. The Bradley family had old money, or what passed for old money in their minds. Their company, Bradley Investments, managed a modest portfolio worth about $50 million. They lived well, but nothing compared to the billions my family's company was worth. Not that I cared about money, but the irony of their constant jabs about my poverty never failed to amuse me. I saw my husband Thomas across the room, chatting with potential investors. He caught my eye and winked. Thomas knew everything about my background. He was the only one. We'd met at a business conference where I was speaking under a different name, and he figured out who I really was. Instead of being intimidated, he found it fascinating. We fell in love over late-night conversations about business strategy and our shared love of terrible sci-fi movies. "I don't understand why you let them treat you like this," he'd said early in our marriage. "I want to know who people really are," I'd explained. "Money changes how people treat you. I learned that the hard way in my first marriage." Ah yes, my first marriage, another thing my in-laws loved to hold over my head. A divorcee, Eleanor would whisper at parties like it was a contagious disease. The gala was in full swing when things started to unravel. I was talking to an elderly couple about their charity work when Amanda deliberately bumped into me, spilling red wine down my dress. "Oh my God, I'm so clumsy," she giggled. "But don't worry, it's not like you paid much for that dress anyway." I dabbed at the stain calmly, but inside I was smiling. The dress was specially treated. The wine would roll right off. Another little secret. That's when Eleanor decided to make her grand announcement. She clinked her glass, gathering everyone's attention. "I'd like to thank everyone for coming tonight," she began. "The Bradley Foundation is proud to announce we're expanding our charitable work, specifically helping underprivileged women better themselves." She looked directly at me. "In fact, we have an example right here. My daughter-in-law, Rebecca, came from humble beginnings, but we've generously taken her in, trying to teach her proper society ways." The room grew quiet. I could see Thomas starting to move toward us, his face dark with anger. "Though I must admit," Eleanor continued, her voice sharp, "some people can't be taught class. They'll always be gold diggers, trying to climb the social ladder by trapping wealthy men." Amanda jumped in, clearly rehearsed. "Mother's right. We've tried to help you, Rebecca, but you'll never belong here. You're just embarrassing everyone. Why don't you leave? I'm sure there's a nice little coffee shop somewhere that's hiring." I stood there, letting their words wash over me. 2 years of patience was about to pay off. "You know what?" I said quietly. "You're right, I don't belong here." Eleanor's triumphant smile made what I was about to do even sweeter. "I don't belong here," I continued, "because unlike you, I don't need to announce my charitable donations to feel important. Unlike you, I don't need to belittle others to feel powerful. And unlike you, I don't need to worry about Bradley Investments' failing portfolio." Eleanor's face went pale. "What are you talking about?" I pulled out my phone, checking my messages. "Oh, that reminds me. I should let you know that about 20 minutes ago, my company completed its acquisition of Morrison & Stanley." "The investment firm?" Amanda looked confused. "What does that have to do with anything?" "Everything," Thomas said, finally reaching us. He was grinning. "Because Morrison & Stanley handles all of Bradley Investments' accounts, and my wife's company just bought them. The glass slipped from Eleanor's hand, shattering on the marble floor. Your company? Amanda stammered. I smiled, reaching up to unpin my hair. Zhang International. Perhaps you've heard of it. We're quite big in the tech sector, worth about 12 billion at last count. Eleanor grabbed the nearest chair for support. That's impossible. You're just a gold digger. I finished for her. A poor artist? Amazing what people assume when they're too busy looking down their noses to see what's right in front of them. But this was just the beginning. What happened next would change the Bradley family forever. The silence that followed my revelation was deafening. You could practically hear the wheels turning in Eleanor's head as she calculated just how badly she'd miscalculated. Even if what you're saying is true, she finally managed, her voice shaking, Bradley Investments is still independent. You can't touch us. I pulled up another message on my phone. About that. Thomas, darling, what time is it? My husband checked his watch with theatrical flair. 9:45 p.m. Perfect. That means the papers have just been filed. You see, Eleanor, Bradley Investments has been in trouble for a while. Your expansion into real estate last year was ill-advised. Your company's been hemorrhaging money, forcing you to take out high-interest loans just to maintain appearances. Amanda's face went from pale to green. How do you know about that? Those records are private. Nothing's private when you own the bank, I said softly. As of 9 o'clock tonight, Zhang International owns every loan Bradley Investments took out. We also own this building, by the way. Bought it last week. Eleanor swayed on her feet. This building belongs to the Bradley Foundation. Belong, Thomas corrected. The foundation's board voted to sell it due to financial constraints. It just didn't tell you yet. Probably because you've been too busy planning how to humiliate my wife to attend the last 3 board meetings. The crowd around us had grown larger, society's elite watching the drama unfold like a tennis match. I could see phones recording discreetly. This would be all over social media by morning. You can't do this, Eleanor whispered. We're family. Family? I let out a small laugh. Let's talk about family, Eleanor. For 2 years, you've called me a gold digger at every opportunity. You've sabotaged my charity work, spread rumors about my past, and even tried to set Thomas up with other women. Tonight, you deliberately tried to humiliate me in front of everyone who matters in this city's philanthropic circle. Is that how family treats family? Amanda stepped forward, desperation in her eyes. We can work something out. Daddy will talk to you. He always knows how to fix things. Your father already knows. Thomas interjected. Who do you think approved the sale? He's known about Rebecca's identity for months. He was trying to warn you both to change your behavior, but you wouldn't listen. Eleanor's face contorted with rage. Richard would never go behind my back like that. Actually, Eleanor, I would. Richard Bradley, Thomas's father, emerged from the crowd. He looked tired but determined. I've spent years watching you and Amanda turn into this, using money as a weapon, thinking wealth makes you better than others. When Thomas told me the truth about Rebecca, I saw an opportunity to finally teach you both a lesson. Daddy, Amanda wailed. How could you? Easily, Richard said firmly. Rebecca's company isn't just buying our assets, they're going to restructure everything. The Bradley Foundation will continue its charitable work, but under new leadership. Leadership that understands what true philanthropy means. I stepped forward, my voice gentle but firm. Starting tomorrow, the foundation will focus on educational opportunities for underprivileged women. Real help, not photo ops. Eleanor, you and Amanda have a choice to make. A choice? Eleanor spat. Yes. You can stay on as regular employees, learning how to actually help people. Or you can leave with your personal assets, which I should mention, are significantly less than you think they are. Thomas and his father have already agreed to this arrangement. The whispers in the crowd grew louder. Eleanor Bradley, society queen, being offered a regular job by her poor daughter-in-law? It was delicious scandal. This is ridiculous, Amanda shrieked. Mother, tell them they can't do this. But Eleanor's rage had turned to something else. Fear. She'd finally realized just how completely her world had changed. Why, she whispered. Why go through all this? You could have crushed us instantly. I walked closer, keeping my voice low so only she could hear. Because money and power aren't weapons, Eleanor. They're responsibilities. I wanted you to understand exactly how it feels to be judged, dismissed, and humiliated based on what people think you're worth. Now you have a chance to learn what real worth means. 2 weeks later, the headlines told the story. Bradley Foundation announces major restructuring. New focus on women's education. Eleanor and Amanda chose to stay, though it wasn't easy. Eleanor works in program development now, and recently confessed she's finally finding real purpose in her life. Amanda's running our outreach program, and last week she apologized to me for the first time. Thomas and I still attend charity galas, but they're different now. No more power plays or social climbing. We focus on actual change, actual help for people who need it. I still wear that red dress sometimes, wine stain and all, to remind myself and others that true worth isn't in what you wear or what you own. It's in how you treat people. Richard retired but serves on our board, proudly watching his son and daughter-in-law build something meaningful. The other night, at a small family dinner, Eleanor asked me to help her understand more about impact investing. I want to do better, she said quietly. I want to be better. And that, more than any revenge, was the victory I've been hoping for all along. Sometimes at night, Thomas asks me if I miss being the secret billionaire. I just smile and show him the latest reports from our education programs. Hundreds of women getting chances they never thought they'd have. Why miss it? I tell him, this is a much better